Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm just going to go ahead and get my other screen up per every stream that I do. And yeah, we'll get started. Hopefully, let's do an audio check real quick. Let me know if you can hear me, and we'll get started. Let me pull up this. Let's see here. I added a few things in the office here to cut down on the echoing, so hopefully it's a little better. Let me save that. Let me pull up the screen. Man, YouTube is lagging. Here we go. And pop out the chat. We're good to go. All right, cool. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me, and we'll let me turn that off. That's kind of loud. 1 second, guys. My apologies for that. All right. You can hear me? Cool. Thanks, Missy. Appreciate it. What's up, guys? What's up? Salty Dad. Missy's here. Missy, how's the fish doing? I was actually debating on. I've been talking about Oscar fish over the last few weeks, and I don't know. I have this overwhelming craving, or I almost said, is it craving is the word for it? I don't need, I guess, a need for a freshwater tank, like a large one. Like back in the day when I had Oscars and Jaguars and convict cichlids and all the fun fish. And I just been thinking about it over the last few weeks. So I don't know where I'm going to put it. So if I'm going to get one, I don't know where it's going to go. And since I am going to get an Oscar, it would have to be a relatively large tank, like a minimum of a 125. Even that, they can outgrow those. So I don't know. If you guys think I should get a plant or a freshwater tank, let me know. I do have the planted tank up in the kitchen. I don't think you guys have seen that. Maybe not. I just like to have it there, so when I'm doing dishes, I can look at the shrimps and the fish just kind of doing their own thing. But yeah, other than that, I've actually I added some more frags to the 300. It's doing pretty good. I got to get some more salt and do a water change here real quick. Got to send the Trident out to get fixed. It's still on my to-do list. But I did send out the 6. What is it? Yeah. Is it 6? 5 or 6 of my XR15s that died, I don't know, like over the last 6 months or so. I did mail those to Ecotech 2 days ago, so I'm waiting to hear back what they want to do. Now they did offer me, they say because they're out of warranty, they said that they would offer me like discounted, like to fix them and stuff like that. I truly don't want to spend any money on the lights. They just stop working. Different light codes and not turning on or just not working at all. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll have to see. It depends on what they're going to charge me. I might not even bother investing in the Radeons anymore. I might just go a different route. Maybe I'll just go to Kessel and put the 9Xs, one over each low boy. I don't know yet. We'll see what they say when they get back to me. I do got to send that Trident out. I think that's like $175 to get that fixed. It's kind of forced me to start testing manually, which I'm not a fan of, but it does kind of get me back into a little bit more hands-on with the reef tank, which I do like. So I'm not upset about that. Yeah, and the only reason why I haven't sent the Trident out to get fixed is I got that thing like a year and a half ago and it's already broken. I just the thought of like spending almost $200 to get it fixed is like spending $200 to fix a Radeon. It seems pointless with the amount of money that I've already spent on that equipment. It just feels like I'm getting bent over, and I'm not really a fan of that. So yeah, we'll see. Other than that, I'm done ranting. Had to let that out real quick. Missy, you're saying something. Let me get to you here. 1 second. If you guys have questions, reef related or non-reef related, feel free to put them in the comment section. BJJ questions. I know a lot of you guys are sending me emails about BJJ, which is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You can ask me that if you want. You can ask me pretty much anything you want. Open book for the most part. Yeah. And Wiggles is here. My cat Wiggles. So you'll hear she's in love with the microphone. Like, can you not? No. Move your giant fur body so I can see the screen. Anyways, let's see here. Missy says, fish are wonderful. Sold a few of the other day, and I'm gonna set up a Klein's tank. What are you doing with the Klein's tank? What are you doing? Did you already say that? Wiggles, you are an issue right now. No freshwater, you don't have time. Yeah, I know. Speaking of time, I removed a whole bunch of stuff from the website. Just the little things that just took too much time. I did keep some candle stuff, but I did get rid of the majority of it just because I don't have the time. And Andrew is right. But it's freshwater. It doesn't really require that much time, right? That's how I justify everything when it comes to getting new tanks. I won't take too much more time. You're probably right. And I don't really have the room. Okay, I won't get one. Oh, that sucks. Thanks for ruining that. You should do cichlids. It would be really cool. Saltwater gets boring after a while. Sometimes you just need to switch it up. Well, I do have the shrimp and the gold. Are they? They're like fluffy tailed tetras or some crap like that in the kitchen. I've had these shrimp for 3 years. These ghost shrimp. They were originally in that 125. If you guys remember that freshwater tank, if you've been here for a while, and they've been switched around a few different tanks. They went into a BioCube, another Nano, and now they're in this like 14-gallon upstairs. They just they don't die. They don't reproduce. Like they're not having babies because they're a brackish type of they need brackish water to reproduce. But they carry the eggs and they never turn into anything. But either way, they just don't die. I don't know. I didn't know ghost shrimp to live that long. And speaking of that, the starfish, I should go check. I'm pretty sure he's still alive too. I haven't really been looking at the 300 too much, but I'll have to double check because I think we're approaching 6 or 7 years for that guy. The blue link has starfish in the 300. I'll double check tonight when I get down there. But he might have passed because he actually started shrinking over the years. You probably noticed it when I did updates on him, but he was shrinking over the last couple of years. I don't know if that's how starfish die. They just slowly shrink and whittle away. Who knows? Discus tank. Yeah, Joe. What about a discus tank? I love discus tanks, but I'm really picky about my discus, and I'm kind of a snob when it comes to discus. So I have to have the really pretty ones, and they have to be a blend, a mixture. And if I can't get that, I'm not gonna do it. I know that sounds awful, but a jungle Val. Man, is that still on? I thought I turned that off. One second, man. I thought I turned that down. There we go. So I'd like to do a jungle Val / discus tank. I'm really a big fan of that. But if I can't get the discus I want, I won't do it. So watching from the hospital, they patient me today, diabetic acidosis. I've heard of that. Due infection, but I'm still here. Man, damn. I know you had that other stuff going on too. Well, keep your head up, keep going. You've been through a lot of stuff. Andrea, freshwater is a lot less time consuming. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. You guys are going back and forth. Oh, for sure. But I know how swamped he is. Time is way limited. Yeah, now that my training schedule is also bumped up as well. I'm getting ready for, is it June? No, what month are we in? Jeez, man, I can't remember month. My next fight is October 8th. Fuji, I believe it is. That's what we're doing. We're going down as a big group. So, but I got to cut. Oh, I got to cut for that. So I'm cutting now. So yeah, 194 going in. Gonna be skinny mini. But yeah. That's my job. Buzzkill bestie. Yeah, that's sure is. Shut down six tank fresh now reef. Shut down 6-tank fresh now reef. Let's see here. 75-gallon planted guppy and a single male beta. What are you using? What is the male for? Like, are you just getting the eggs in for that, Missy, or are you actually reproducing with the betas? I'm not really a huge beta buff. I don't really know a lot about them. I recently got a 40-gallon freshwater. Got some severums and a really cool discus. Definitely less work than saltwater. Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, you definitely don't have to test as much. Water change schedule isn't as bad as long as the fish load isn't crazy. Depending on whatever you're using for filtration, I usually use a canister filter. But I have done the trickle filter for freshwater, which turned out pretty good. You just got to change out the mat. Yeah, you can do filter socks if you want. But yeah, I really do like freshwater. But Andrew is right. I definitely should not be adding any more to my schedule. Yeah, as you guys know, I got my kids half a week and running the business. And yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. So, and jujitsu, all that. So I'm up to 26 fish tanks at the moment, 2 brackets. Man, that is crazy. Where are you putting 26 fish tanks? Seriously. Are they like in a rack system? Because if they're in a rack system, that makes sense. And they're not huge, but 26 fish tanks. Are you doing like airlines for filters, like sponge filters? Stuff like that? Man, that seems crazy. Oh, I appreciate the feedback on the hoarder status. Yeah. I appreciate the feedback on the MP40 and the MP60 NEM guards that you guys asked me to make. And then I did the combination of the NEM and surface guard, and then I did the service guard. So I got those 3 different variations out for both the MP40 and the MP60 in like 2 weeks. So I've been really nailing that stuff down. I'm debating. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, because a lot of you guys have been sending me emails with ideas of stuff. So I got this whole list of things to get going, and I'm trying to create 2 new things every week. Definitely easier said than done, but I've been doing pretty good. So if you have any ideas for 3D printing, or you want me to make you something specific or whatever, feel free to drop me an email. You can send me a message on the website. And by the way, if you are sending messages on the website, for some reason, the notification's not popping up anymore. So I have to reach out to Shopify and figure out why. I used to get forward push to my phone, not getting that anymore, and it's not popping up on the desktop. So I'm getting people to send messages, but I'm not getting any notifications, so I'm not getting to them. So a little bummed about that. I should address that here in the next day or so. Order status. Here we go. Travis, 100-gallon mixed reef, all SPS are from you. Been in there for about 3 years. Over the past few months, growth has really slowed down. Done 2 ICP tests, all look good. No other changes. Any thoughts? Yeah, yeah, you definitely, I do. Yeah, I've definitely sent you out of several orders for sure. I remember your name. So when it comes to, so it's 3 years, growth has been good. Over the last few months, growth has really slowed down. Okay, so now you have to step back, and it might not be a water thing. No, not necessarily a water thing. So if your ICP tests are coming back and you're not, deficient in anything major, I mean, you can be a little low on boron. I mean, who cares about that? But now what you have to look at is your lighting. Are you using T5 lighting? If you're using T5, maybe the bulbs are starting to go bad. I know it does take a little bit of time. So if you're using T5 bulbs, consider swapping them out if you haven't recently, just because they do lose their power and their intensity over time. I think BRS did a video on that. You guys can check it out. I'm not a buff like that. Also look at fish population. Have you been adding more? Have you had any more fish? What are you feeding? Are you feeding any more? What is the stability like of your nitrates and phosphates? Because that's a big determination on growth. Also, how's the alkalinity? Do you remember what it was when you first started the tank? Are you still at that range? Are you? I see you're putting some answers in. I'll get to them as they kind of pop on my screen. Hey, what's up, Gabe? Sending your Lobo out tomorrow, by the way. But anyways, so man, I lost track of all those. Damn it. So you just have to look at what you've done over the last 3 years. What has changed? Because something has to have changed, right? You're not dosing something, you're not doing something, and then I'm just trying to think. I don't really think corals just take time out to not grow. I've never had that as an issue. But was the tank brand spanking new when you first set it up and you added those SPS? Is it now 3 years old? Tanks mature over time. You would think they would get better over time, but sometimes things build up, excess nutrients and stuff like that. I'm waiting to look at some of your answers here. I'm going to get the miss. Let me see. Yeah, you are putting some stuff in. You have 3 XR30s and haven't changed the settings. Okay. No new fish. Elk is about 8.5. So the same NO310 and PO4 0.15. Well, I'll tell you, if you can drop that NO3, I mean that nitrates a little bit, you might get a little bit of jump in growth. You're a little high. I'd recommend around 3 to 5 ppm, 7 max. 10 ppm might be a little high. Your phosphates seem, they're a little high. They're not crazy. Try to get to 0.1. That might be ideal. You're a little high on that. So tank was brand new, and now it's 3 years old from bare bottom. Okay, yeah. So I would go ahead and try to drop your nutrients just a little bit. You can do this by just maybe not feeding as much. I don't know what you got for macroalgae or anything like that. You can do a little bit more of a water change. Also, that too. Which is your water change schedule the same? Same amount, same salt, all that kind of stuff. I will work on getting nutrients down. Thank you for the thoughts. Been scratching my head. Yeah, try that, because higher nutrients can stunt the growth. I will tell you, when I get spikes in nutrients in the 300, I will also get spikes in alkalinity, indicating that I'm not getting as much growth. So what happens if you're not getting as much growth and you're still, your calcium reactor's still going the same rate? Your alkalinity is going to go up. So I've definitely noticed correlation between elevated nutrients and elevated alkalinity because of it, because of the growth. But what you will find is even if you were to bottom your nutrients out and you started adding some nutrients, your alkalinity will drop down. Like, so you'll get more growth. So it's not, I'm not saying go to one extreme or the next. I mean, granted, your levels aren't even that high, but they could determine, could be a determining factor. So again, just stay within that 3 to 5 ppm of nitrates and the 0.1, 0.07 to 0.15 ish. You're kind of right there anyways. 0.1 probably a good shot for you. And, just see how it does. Other than that, I mean, if it's not broken, I mean, there's no reason to try to make any major changes that can negatively impact the tank. Because if you start moving things around, changing the light, doing extra water changes or dosing a bunch of stuff. I mean, I don't know if you do aquavitro fuel, which is a really good overall micro or mineral supplement, or basically like, I guess you can call it like kind of like Reef Plus. You can start dosing some stuff like that just to add some trace elements. But I wouldn't do anything too crazy just because if it's not broken, you don't want to be, causing issues. All right. So let's see here. Let me see if you got anything. Yep. You said get the nitrates down. Okay. Let me go back up and see what Missy said. He just wants a male beta in his tank for some reason, but I'm going to give him all my guppies that I strained out. Got a lot of them. Betas don't lay eggs. They have bubble nests. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen them put the bubbles at the top. Back when I had betas, they did that. It's pretty crazy. I don't want to look at fish at fresh water. I have 4 more aquariums with wild optums and. Okay, let's see here. Well, I mean, I'm not going to do freshwater. You don't have to worry about it. I'm not going to do it. I ain't got that kind of time. You can always set up another big freshwater tank, and I'll buy it when you're done with it. Yeah, probably. Yeah. If I had the room, but unfortunately, nope. Absolutely don't. Absolutely do not have the room now. They're going to be. They are going to be. They are everywhere. Yes, sponge filters with very loud, powerful air pump V3. I can't even imagine 26 tanks in my house. That'd be crazy. My kids would break half of them anyways. There we go. No fish alkalinity. We answered that already. That's cool, man. I can't spell either. No hard feelings on that. I'm pretty dumb. That's why people are like, man, you should do like a blog, where you can write out your thoughts and you can talk about fish tanks and stuff. I'm like, I'm illiterate. Like, I'd have to write it out and send it to somebody to proofread it. Like, I don't even know where to put periods. I don't care. I mean, I'll put a comma after everything just to make it easier. So yeah, no, no, not good at that. I know my weaknesses, and writing and reading are pretty weak for sure. Had a battle with sickness, pulled fish out, been fallow since May 10th. Think I'm good to start QT some new fish. How would you QT meds with meds? Shit. How would you QT meds, no meds? Question mark. Want to be careful. Don't want to deal with it again. Well, you said you dealt with sickness. What sickness did you deal with, Heath? Answer that question, and then I will answer yours. You'll pop up on the other screen. I'll get it. So yeah, what sickness did you deal with? Okay, you said you work on the nutrients. My tank is being overrun by vermilion snails. Well, that sucks, man. You should start over. My tank is being overrun by vermilion snails. Is there any real side effects other than being ugly? No, I mean, some people there's different types of vermilion snails. Like, there's different types of tube worms and all sorts of stuff that I actually just saw a tank the other day that had these massive vermilion snails. Well, I guess they're vermilion snails, but they were the size of $50. It's insane. And the streamers that those things put out were really pissing off LPS and stuff like that. So generally the vermilion snails that I see are really, really small. And the best way to get rid of them is to not broadcast feed. They actually kind of starve out. I barely see any in my 300 anymore. Like, I can't remember the last time I even saw one, because I don't broadcast feed anymore. I actually I turn off all the pumps, I turn off all the power heads, and I just put in just enough for the fish to eat. And then I slowly put on the return pump, which then all that food, whatever doesn't eat, will go over into the overflow, go down into the filter socks and it never gets blown around the tank. Now the corals aren't necessarily as happy about that, but I have barely seen any verminted snails on the 300. But I will admit the growth of the coral has slowed down due to not broadcast feeding. I could tell you without a doubt, changing the way I feed has definitely changed how fast the coral grows. So now I got to weigh out: do I want to see verminted snails, which never really bothered my corals in the first place, or do I want to broadcast feed and promote that kind of growth? So yeah, I guess that's food for my own thought. Other than that, if verminted snails are really that bad in their tank and you're having issues, then start the tank over. That means you got to get rid of all the plumbing. You got to take everything apart. You got to scrub out all the overflows. You got to get rid of all that stuff. You got to get rid of all the rock. And then you got to quarantine. If you have LPS, you got to quarantine that stuff for a long time. I got verminted snails in the 300 back from the Lobo that I got from my buddy from the original 125. And I quarantined that coral for multiple months. And then they didn't pop up until they were in the 300. When I saw them, I happened to move the coral and saw them at the bottom of the Lobo for the very first time. And I was like, oh man, I removed them, but it was too late at that point. So when it comes to LPS, you got to quarantine that stuff for an extended period of time. That's any LPS. Now you can get it on SPS on maybe a dead portion of of a coral or on a frag plug or something like that. But other than that, quarantine is key to get rid of or to not introduce them in the first place. But yeah, you can do bumblebee snails if you want to invest the money on that. I heard that they eat them. I've never had success with that. Or you can just starve them out. Kind of just depends on what you want to do. But overall, if they're not bothering anything, it'll be all right. That's a long ass answer. Whew. SPS growth when they grow when they want. I have some that haven't done much in months, and all of a sudden they just take off. Yep, that happens too. I agree with that. Agree with that 100%. Yeah, maybe it's just that type of that time of the year or something. I don't know. I mean, like I said, if you don't have anything major going on with the tank, anything, like I said, your nutrients are a little high, but it's not enough to really make any major changes. If the tank is good and is not dead and the coloration looks good, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Have you ever seen literally nano, brittle looking starfish? These guys are less than 1/16 of an inch and hardly ever move, but they are clearly multiplying. Can't find any data. Can you send me a picture? Noob 69 myself. I can't believe I read that out loud. And I was halfway through it. And I was like, oh man, I gotta finish this now. Whew. Okay. Can you just send me a picture? fishofhex@gmail.com. Send me a picture of them and I'll reply to you and let you know if I know anything about them. But yeah, I read that out loud. Huh. Okay. Told you can't read. Like sound shit out. Anyways. Hello, just set up a 50-gallon frag tank. I transferred live rock from a 20-gallon. What's the best way to add dry rock? Well, technically, the easiest way to do it is to cure the rock ahead of time. So you would take that dry rock, put it in a bin. You can add some bacteria you want. You can add some fish food, add some pumps, some flow, some heat, and let it sit there for about a month. And then you can put that rock into the tank. It allows the beneficial bacteria to populate the rock. It also puts a biofilm on the rock, which will cut down on, algae. If you potentially have higher levels of nitrates and phosphates, you'll less chance of algae growing. But most people don't do that. I would say 90% of people don't do that. They usually just put the rock in the tank and deal with whatever happens at that point. I personally would rather just cure the rock, but it's up to you. You can do whatever you want, but yeah, those are your two options. Heath says I had ick, velvet, and possibly Brooke. I think you talked about this before. Maybe maybe all three. Best I could tell for research. To be safe, let's say all three big ones. Okay. Well, you said when did you say May 10th? May, June, July, August, or May, June, July, August. So when do you plan on putting fish in? Like September, October? Is that when you plan on putting it in there? I would. Okay, so if your fish are still alive, you want to do the normal quarantine. You want to do the 14 days of cupramine, and then just want to observe to make sure they're good to go. You could even do hyposalinity depending on the fish, but do one of the two just to make sure. You can do Prazipro for any kind of external kind of stuff. But yeah, I would still wait till like end of September, mid October to before you start adding anything, just to give it some more time. Was that May, June, July? So that's 3. Yeah, you might be all right with that. But I would hate for you to put fish in early and then have it pop back up and then start this all over again. That would be awful. So if I have cyano, are the corals still getting phosphates or not since the test kits read 0? If you have cyano, there's a good chance that your corals are not getting the phosphates that they want. I've noticed in my tank when I see cyanobacteria in the overflows, there's a good chance that the corals are also going to be pretty pale. So yes, the cyanobacteria is going to be consuming the majority of that phosphates in the water column. So your corals are probably not getting what they need. So what you need to do is you need to focus on getting the cyano out of the system as quickly as possible. You can do the ChemiClean or you can just manually remove it depending on how much you have. And then figure out your source of phosphates. Where are they coming from? Where are you getting this extra phosphates? And then go from there. But yeah, if you see cyano, there's a good chance you're going to have pale corals at the same time. I've noticed it pretty much every time I've ever gotten cyano. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes you get greedy and you start dosing nitrates and phosphates without measuring it because you're lazy and you just want to get it done. And then boom, cyano. It happens. Hey, no problem. No problem. Any experience with potato chip pavona corals? Got mine several months ago and it's barely growing at all. Yeah, it's actually one of the more popular SPS that I sell. I think I took it out of stock for a while. I don't know if it's still up. It might be. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty. It doesn't like a ton of light. It's pretty good around the 200, 250-ish par. Even a little lower is fine. I find that I like putting it on overhangs and edges. Not where it's getting completely blocked out of light, but where it doesn't have to compete with other corals. It does not do well against pretty much any other coral. And it's just a weird coral. It looks cool. I'll give you that. I'm not a fan. I'm more of a stick kind of guy. But yeah, if you like a green, darker green, lighter green, depending on your phosphates, and how much light it's getting at you, it's a pretty good coral, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, doesn't require a lot of light, doesn't really need much flow, if anything at all. And as long as it's not getting stabbed or swept by any sweeper tentacles, it does pretty well. So I was going to try black mollies to test and see if they can get anything after it convert them to saltwater. Well, the thing is so let's just say that you do get the black mollies and you put them in next month, right? And they do get something. Well, maybe you were only like a week out or 2 weeks out from actually killing off that parasite. And with you putting those fish in early, you started the process over again. See what I'm saying? So I wouldn't use a fish to be like, oh, let's just see if this fish gets sick, because once it gets sick, your quarantine fallow period starts over. Is that something you want to risk doing? That's up to you. That's totally your call. I would just be like, hey, I'll drop some fish in November. That's plenty of time. You can start quarantining now. You can start quarantining in late September. But I would just wait it out. If it's the big 3, and this is your final tank, I wouldn't be in any rush, to be honest with you. Just, I don't know, you've already waited this long. I mean, why risk it, right? How long of a QT would you recommend for LPS, and would you recommend multiple dips? Okay, so I don't really dip my corals too much. Like, I'll initially dip them when they come in, depending on where I get them. When I was getting wholesale corals, I think I did whatever that pest killer was. I think I did something like that. Then I did Coral RX. But I usually dip the corals once, put them in the tank, and then observe. Or in your quarantine tank, not your main display. Now, when it comes to LPS, like I said, those verminid snails they don't come up right away. They take time. So I'm trying to figure out a way you could probably promote growth. If you target fed or you broadcast fed in a quarantine tank, you might be able to promote them to grow if they are in the tank a little bit quicker than waiting. But So I did 2 months, 2-ish months, a little bit more of that Lobo, and they still popped up. So they're going to be in like the little nooks and crannies of your LPS, and you're going to have to take the coral out every couple weeks just to look at it and see. Even getting a magnifying glass to kind of look in there. Hey, if you're really strict about it, and I would go 3-4 months. I know that sounds so bad. I know it really does. Who wants to buy a $100 hammer and put it in quarantine for 4 months? I know that sounds awful for a lot of people, but if it's your last tank and you're not upgrading and you got a ton of money invested in it, and you already have a ton of coral in your tank, and or you just started fresh and you don't want to contaminate or cause issues, then taking the time to quarantine is always going to pay off in the long run. It always is. When it comes to fish and coral, taking those months and that time to quarantine is always good. Um, in hindsight, I wish I could have waited 3 or 4 months, and then looked at that coral more to see if the fermented snails popped up. And then I would have never had the issue ever. It would have never been a problem. Now, granted, it's not a huge issue for me. They don't kill any of my corals. They don't cause any problems. But there are tanks out there that get fermented snails, and their sweeper tentacles, they basically overpower the LPS and they start smothering corals. It happens. So your discretion on what you want to do with that, but I would I would just I would do multiple months, several months, and then just do a lot of observation. What's the big green SPS coral you have halfway up on the screen? Okay, the big green. Okay, let me go back here. Halfway up. I mean, there's so much green coral in this tank. I don't even know what to say. There's so much. I mean, what rock structure? Do you know what rock structure in this tank? Let me just go to where you guys can see it. So I'm going to pause it right here. So if you look on the screen, this is the left one. This is 1. This one in the middle is 2, 3, and 4. Tell me what rock structure, and I'll tell you what coral, because there's a ton of green in there. And I'll wait. I'll just keep this on pause for a second. Let me know. Yeah, because there's a delay in the chat, Mighty Reefer. So I can't tell you. Number 3, so halfway up, that is a Hydnophora coral. It's an SPS. Do I have any of that in stock? I don't know. I just cut a bunch of it, but it's not healed. I can't ship it yet. I did just cut a bunch of that stuff. Let me look. SPS, do I have it? I don't have it in stock, but I did just cut like 12 frags of it, but it takes a little bit to heal. So, yeah, I do have some, but it's green Hydnophora. What's up, George? What's up, Travis? Hope you're okay. Yeah, I'm good, and I'm cruising. I'm just getting through the days, man. It's super busy. Family stuff. The stuff with my dad's kind of calmed down, so I kind of processed it, moved forward. I've kind of been digging a lot into getting the 3D printers working efficiently, getting orders really kind of processing now, because I ended up losing a week when I was gone with my dad's stuff. So I was out of the loop, which really set me back. But I have, I guess, after my dad died, I kind of just really started diving into work more, diving into my training more, which is probably not the best, but it is working out. I got other things I got to get done, but yeah, other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Nothing too crazy. It's just busy, but it should be, though. I don't like it when it's not. Other than that, guys, we've been going for a little bit. If you have any more questions, feel free to put them down. We'll keep going. If not, then I'm gonna go pack some orders. I think I got a few more to go. But yeah, the 3D printer stuff. You guys were asking me if I was going to get any more. I am not until I move. Which, by the way, the housing market is trash. So I will most definitely be here for probably a couple more years. The Lobo is looking great. Yeah, good. I was going to ask you how that was going on. So I'm in the process right now. I just got in 15 more frags the other day. I got a buddy who buys frag plugs from me, and I get coral from him. So I'm in the process of filling out the entire white tub. And once I get my lighting back from Ecotech, I will be filling up both of those Loboys with I make a 3D printed acro disc, and I'm going to be just growing colonies on acro disc, just little mini colonies. And I think I could fit 300 to 400 colonies per Lobo. I have to look and see, depending on how big the disc I use, but I can get away with pretty pretty good chunk of colonies. So right now I'm looking to just get a whole bunch of different corals from a bunch of different people, SPS primarily. And I'm just looking to rebuild my coral because, as you guys know, with Big Bertha, we wiped out the 300. We killed the 300, then we had to start it over. The 300 is growing out. It's looking pretty good. You guys will see that. But I need to actively keep growing corals. I mean, I got 2 Lobos that have nothing going on. By the way, does anybody live local who wants to buy a big angelfish? Let me see if I can find what angelfish this is. I just got it, and I have no need for it, and I'd be happy. It has to be a fish only tank, by the way. If you have coral, it's not going to work out. Let me look if I can find it here. Saltwater. I'll have to post a picture up on angelfish. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. But he's pretty cool. He's cool. He's just never gonna go in my tank. Where is he? Son of a fish. I'm never gonna find it. All right. Well, oh, it's this guy right here. Whatever this dude is. What is this fish? This guy right here. Can you guys see it? This dude. That's the type of angelfish it is. I don't know what it is though. Solar angelfish. It doesn't say. But that's what one it is. I don't know. Yep. That's it. But I don't know the name of it. See if there's any better pictures with a name. Nope. Okay, I don't see it. But this is this guy right here. If you can zoom in and see, it's that dude. That's the one he is. I'll just post a picture because clearly Google's not working. But anybody, if anybody lives locally, I'm not shipping a fish. I'm not doing it. Feel free to let me know. Did I see my comment about MP10 things? Did you see? No, I didn't. Do you have an MP10? Do they make an MP10? No, they don't. Do they really? Ecotech MP10. Do they make an MP10? They do. Holy shit. Okay, I didn't know they made them that small. Yeah, if anybody's got an MP10, send it to me. I just need the wet side of an MP10. If you have any other pumps that you need guards for or anything like that, let me know. Blue green angelfish, cool. Yeah, if anybody wants a blue green angelfish or buy one or wants to trade for coral or whatever, let me know. Yes, Gabe, if you want to send me that MP10, I will make all 3 of those things for the MP10 unless you have something else that you're looking for specifically for the MP10. Hit me up via email, Gabe. I'll send you the info. Yeah, that'd be great because I didn't even know they made that. I think they make a Nero 3 as well. So if anybody has a Nero 3, you can send me your Nero 3 and I will send you a bunch of pump guards for it. Appreciate that. Any other Jabo Nero knockoff pumps that I don't have on the website, let me know. Just go to the pump guard section. I can just get you the link because I know someone's not going to be able to find it. Pump guards. I'll send you the link. Whatever's not here, if you have it, I will be happy to make it. For sure. 100%. Anyways, guys, if anybody has any more questions, let me know. If not, I'm heading out. I'm going to get some work done. If anybody's interested in angelfish, hit me up via email. Sell it to you real cheap or just for a bunch of coral that I don't have. Or even if I do have it, I'd probably buy it anyways. And preferably, pests. That'd be nice because I got to quarantine this stuff. I don't want to deal with crazy shit. So other than that, that's it, guys. I hope you have a good night. Appreciate Caleb. Man, you've been here for 11 months. Damn, boy. Damn. Is Octopulse 4 on your website? Oh, no. Let me check. Octopulse. I have Octopulse 2. But you can send me the 4 if you want. I do have the 2. That's actually a pretty decent pump guard to make too. I might redesign that with Fusion 360 now that I have that. Yeah. Hit me up. Octopus. That's a movie. I don't know. And I'm not getting into it. I'm not going to get demonetized already. Gabe or Caleb's trying to set me up here. Anyways, that's it, guys. Appreciate you being here. I will get some more content out this week and I will, email me. And I will see you guys next Monday. All right. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid. And I'll see you around. All right. Peace.